You don't stay stuck because life is against you. You stay stuck because of a choice you're not noticing you keep making every day.
What people have the most difficult time with spiritual guidance from my perspective? I'm going to go for a little walk and talk here. From my perspective, what happens when I'm giving guidance and dealing with people through their traumas and their emotional pain, is we're looking at how the choices that they're making are actually affecting the experiences that they're creating. So it goes hand in hand with their own participation. Okay, just going through the woods here, the wilderness. Okay, so when we have that in mind, that we're participating in the creation of the experience that we're intending to transform, it's showing that we not only played a role, but if we want to create a different experience, we're going to have to continue to play a role and oftentimes ramp up the mindfulness of the roles we're playing. Neat little path in the backyard way up there. Okay. So what we're seeing for the people that are having difficulty, the people that tend to have the most difficulty, I should say, are the people who aren't yet quite inspired to be accountable. We do live in a culture that encourages the easy way, sometimes the victim mentality. Our culture isn't very spiritually aware. I'm in Canada myself. We don't have a lot of people in our experience encouraging us to be spiritually accountable. Few people we know in our circle tend to understand consciousness, the nature of it. So what we do is we have these influences pulling us towards a direction of unaccountability and lack of mindfulness. Okay, but I'm going to give you an example here. What a fun little excursion! I'm going to give you an example. For say, I'm going to use the nature of consciousness, which is thought precedes creation, right? Thought precedes creation. So if you think a sad thought and you consent to that sad thought, this example comes up so much, but you consent to that sad thought, you create the experience of sadness perfectly and fairly and justly, right? If the sad thought arises to your consciousness, to your conscious awareness, and you repent it, you do not create the experience of sadness. It required your participation. That sad thought required your consent. It required your participation. An unaccountable person, what would they do? What they might do is try to justify the reasons why they can be sad, rather than saying, oh, there's a sad thought that my consciousness is aware of. I don't want to be sad any longer. I'm just going to repent the sad thought. This is us being accountable now and being mindful. But when we're not accountable, when we're not mindful, we are giving our power away. We're not allowing ourselves to stand in the actual tool of mindfulness and apply it and transform the experience, transform the moment, make a new choice, change our experience, gain a new experience, which is the fruit of the choice that we consent to, right? Intent. Intent is a very real thing. Okay? So, if you're not already, we're somewhere in between not being accountable and being completely accountable. And if you're suffering and not quite inspired just yet, the suffering will work on you. The suffering will soften you. This is the perfection of creation. We either get it right now, or we get a lesson that creates more suffering to accumulate. And eventually that suffering accumulates so densely that we don't have a choice but to pretend that it's not there any longer. Or we don't have a choice to pretend it's not there any longer, and we have to become aware and look for a different experience. We start seeking a remedy for this experience. I'm sorry if this wind is too strong here. That's a good healthy wind right there. Okay. So, if that is you, and you're not quite inspired to be accountable yet, I'd start playing with the idea. Because in order for your experience to change, you are going to have to participate in a change. Okay? We don't have a choice in this, my friends. We don't have a choice. We might not like karma, but that doesn't mean we get to turn it off. Eventually we have to pay attention and say, okay, I'm going to make a different choice here. I'm going to make a different choice that gives me a different karma, gives me a different experience. Karma is only meant to be cause and effect. Okay? We're not even talking about reincarnation. However, I'm going to stop the video right now, and I'm going to make a video on reincarnation. But intend to increase your accountability level, my friend. It's paramount. Also want to say I'm going to be doing lives here at some point on YouTube. So be watchful for those if you're enjoying the content. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Hope these videos are fruitful for you. Love to you, my friend.